This week, Nation's Business highlights Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama's first official visit to the Russian Federation. The visit to meet Russia's top leaders, Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev and Foreign Affairs Minister Sergei Lavrov in Moscow, was at the invitation of the Russian government. Moscow, the seat of power for Russia, a country landlocked in a landmass that is twice the size of Australia, is the largest country in the world and is the world's 9th most populous nation with 143 million people. Fiji's non-resident ambassador to Russia, His Excellency Isekeli Mataitonga, explains the significance of the state visit to Russia and how this is expected to boost relations between the two countries.
Like all relationships, first we must build the basis of political relations, because out of it will flow trade, economics, culture, and all other forms of international exchanges. I am pleasantly surprised that very early in the appointment of the first ever Fijian ambassador to Russia, and remember my accreditation here is just 3 years, we already can have a PM to PM meeting. That is almost unprecedented in most other, even in friendly countries. So we can expect that from these meetings there will be follow-up meeting at ministerial level. The deepening of these relations is once the heads of government meet, will then assist people like me who are technocrats to articulate the framework in which what they have agreed to at political level to be implemented. So after they've opened so-called the political doors, it is us, it is for us to try and make sure. That's why it's always important to get the political exchanges established and being massaged to the point where they are comfortable. When I first came here, one of the comments there was side comments that I always get, what do you guys think you're going to get out of Russia? I said, wait and see, and you won't be long. It's happened. Within less than a year of my presenting my credential, foreign minister visited Fiji. No one ever believed that Mr. Lavrov will visit Fiji. No one. A senior diplomat said to me, you think he'll come to Fiji? And I said, wait and see. And when he turned up, you couldn't believe it. The same diplomat said to me, Isekeli, what did you do? Because for a diplomat, the visit of a foreign minister from the country of accreditation to your home base is always a sign of quite a big achievement. And so when he turned up, he said, no, we kept on saying Bula. We did the same thing. We went, we did as we asked them to come, and they came. And this is the follow-up. Once we, noting that Mr. Lavrov is not only a senior foreign minister, is very much a very senior politician in this country. And the friendly atmosphere with which he met our Prime Minister and the exchange, I knew straight away that the meeting of the Prime Minister to Prime Minister was only a matter of time. And so here we are.
Moscow was the setting for Fiji's Prime Minister to meet with his Russian counterpart and set the pace for what will become a new chapter for the Russia-Fiji relations. Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama's official engagements began with the laying of a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier, which is located within the walls of the Kremlin. This war memorial dedication parade was performed by the Russian military and is a significant event dedicated to the memory of unnamed soldiers who died fighting for their country during World War II. From the Kremlin, Prime Minister Bainimarama met with his Russian counterpart, Dmitry Medvedev, at his official residence. This was also an opportunity for Medvedev to meet with the Fijian delegation, which consisted of the Minister for Defense, Choketani Dhokanasinghe, the Minister for Youth and Sports, Mr. Napoto, and Fiji's ambassador to Russia, His Excellency Mr. Isikeli Mataitonga. Their meeting led to the signing of 3 new protocols, which cover technical cooperation and assistance between Fiji and Russia. Areas which were agreed upon were on the waiver of visa, which allows people of both countries visitation, anti-money laundering, and the fight against terrorism between Russia's Federal Financial Monitoring Services and Fiji's Financial Intelligence Unit. New protocols on public health assistance and university exchanges between Russia's Far East University and Fiji's National University, and defense cooperation between the 2 countries. Prime Minister Bainimarama had the opportunity to speak at a tourism promotion forum in Moscow that was attended by representatives from several of Fiji's tourist resorts, as well as Russia's tourism stakeholders. In addressing the group, he said there are a number of exciting opportunities for those planning to visit Fiji as a holiday destination.
I'm here at the invitation of the Russian government by the Prime Minister, and I had talked with him today. So there have been many firsts commemorated today. There is the first official visit by a Fijian Prime Minister to the Russian Federation. So for the first meeting of the heads of government representing our countries. And now, the first major Fijian tourism promotion for Russian travel companies. From now on, visas will no longer be required for citizens of both countries wanting to visit each other for stays of up to 90 days. We understand that Russians generally book holidays about 4 weeks before they leave. Now Russians, guests to Fiji, don't need so long to plan and book, and can just grab a passport and get on a plane.
The 4-day state visit by the Prime Minister was a successful one, given that many areas of potential growth between the two countries were identified in trade, education, health, and tourism.
I want to say how glad we are that it's an opportunity to meet up with you again. I know you're very busy, but I want to thank you for the opportunity for us to come and visit you in Moscow. You've been very well looked after by your officials. But Your Excellency, we've signed the agreement yesterday, as you said, and last night I mentioned to the tourist industry the visa-free issue, and they were very happy with that issue. I thank you also, Your Excellency, for the support of the Russian Federation and the United Nations for peacekeeping. In the last couple of days, our troops, numbering 182, have arrived in the Golan Heights.
Russia's Foreign Affairs Minister, Sergei Lavrov, had reassured Prime Minister Bainimarama of Russia's continued support.
I think people must understand that for almost 6 years now, there has been some so-called friendly countries who have been very unkind in the manner in which they tried to remove Fiji's participation in the UN peacekeeping operations. There are only 2 countries who stood up for us. Russia is one of them. And not only stood up for us, but stood up for us in a way that left it absolutely clear that they will not tolerate any attempt by any country to try and suggest that Fiji should not participate. And I think they did this about 3 years ago. And the events since then have proven that they were right, because there are some people who just get up and go when the heat gets a bit too beyond certain degrees, and it's Fiji that always comes. Our record in that area is absolutely something that Fiji should be proud of, and all countries are proud of.
For the first time, people will be able to travel freely between the 2 countries through the relaxation of visa and entry requirements. Nations Business also spoke to John May, the chairman of Fiji's Sugar Cooperation, to find out how discussions went in terms of trade talks on Fiji's sugar industry.
Yeah, the visit was planned to meet with Eurochem, and they're the biggest producer of fertilizer in Russia, and they also have plans to be the biggest in the world, basically. And we had Mr. Ambassador Matai Tonga, who arranged for the meeting, and he has bigger visions than just talking to them on fertilizer, but possible cooperation in the future. We're looking at potash, and Russia is one of the big producers. Potash is mined, so they don't get made in the factory like the other chemicals. And the discussions really are looking at the future, because at the moment Eurochem don't produce potash themselves, but they have huge mining reserves, and they expect to be producing potash in the next 18 months. And they're going to be a very big producer as well. No, it's been a good opportunity to meet with the ambassador and to understand the political nature of these issues, and to understand the long-term plans that the government has in trying to encourage partnerships with big companies like Eurochem out of Fiji as a link to other major markets in the Pacific, which is relatively small, but then we can look at Latin America as a staging point. So these are issues that we need to continue to look at for the future.
A better Fiji for all is now taking shape through trade, tourism, education, defense cooperation, and increasing private sector participation with Russia. This is all part of strengthening Fiji's foreign relations with European nations and creating a stronger trade and economic platform for the future.